This video was going to be more or less of a light video about some crosses that I've been doing, but as it progressed, I started thinking I should redo it and kind of add it to the ongoing guide, step-by-step guide to successfully raise fancy guppies as crosses. So the first 5 or 6 minutes might be a little heavy and boring, so if you just want to see more fish, just kind of skip ahead to about 6 or 7 minutes from now. But the first part of the video is going to go over some specifics on the reasons for crossing strains or lines of guppies. By lines I mean the same color variety, but not 100% related fish. This is obtained by running 2 or more lines of the color variety that you have, and I kind of went over that more in the first video in this series. So the need for this comes up because the lines are that you buy are really made through specialized breeding, and if you keep going brother to sister or parent to sibling, the size of the next generation will start to diminish, colors will become less intense, the fin shape will change, basically just a degeneration of the fish. So the best way to stop that is to run 2 lines of the same strains. So these fish are related, but as each generation goes by, they're less directly related to the other line. So pet store guppies, they're a completely different category. They can be very vigorous because they resulted from multiple strains, different males hitting different females, and it could be a unbelievable gene pool of God knows what. But if you continue line breeding, colony breeding them, really in a few generations, you're going to notice the same problems that the most recent generations are going to have differences from the initial parents. They might eventually become infertile, which is definitely going to be the end of that. But some color varieties of purebred strains are far more difficult to maintain. You might have already found this out with experience if you bought half-black reds. In my opinion, half-black reds are the most difficult line to maintain because they require that you cross in a gold-bodied red delta every few generations, and what that does is it stops the color degeneration with the male half-black reds. They'll get a white dorsal or muddy-ish tails, and what that means is a mahogany color like black is now seeping into the tail and dorsal. Bluegrass are also difficult because they're intertwined with red grass, and the dots will get larger in the tail. It'll more or less become a mosaic. You won't be able to control whether you're getting bluegrass or red grass or a combination of both. And the last thing I'll talk about real quick is albino guppies are one of the most difficult to raise. The females can become infertile, not to mention so can the males. They're a weaker type of guppy, and a way to avoid that is to cross in a related color, such as black-eyed red deltas crossed into all red albinos. So the first generation will be all black-eyed fish, but they will carry the albino gene, and there is more than one albino gene, however, so you could cross one all-red albino line to another unrelated line and end up getting all black-eyed fish as well. The next step is to mate a son or daughter to the corresponding parent, and that'll start getting you some albinos. The rest of the video, after I talk about the fish you're looking at, will be some examples of crosses I'm working on. And sorry about dropping the camera down. But anyway, this is a cross that I've started, and at the end of the next part of the video, I'm going to mention that I won't show them, but I'm showing them. This is a yellow delta male who's hiding behind the big female. The female is a red lace snakeskin. I put her in when she had just dropped babies, because I've kind of found that when you want to do crosses, if you wait until the female has just had a drop and put her in with a new male, usually the male will impregnate her and kind of negate any sperm being held on to by the female. So when I do the crosses, I do them both ways. Now, this is a yellow delta male, as I said, and a red lace snakeskin female. My hopes are to get a yellow lace snakeskin, which are in the hobby, but I don't want to buy more fish. I'd really rather kind of create them. So, and I'm doing the cross both ways. This is a Russian red lace snakeskin male, and that's the yellow delta female. So, because you can get different results from doing the cross male to female, female to male of the different varieties. So, and then what I do is I raise the babies I'll get from both pairings, and select which ones look better. I may abandon one cross and just go with the other if it looks like it's a better, more feasible thing to get the results I want. So another thing with the crosses is I don't use the best males that I have. You can see this black spotting in the tail of this Russian red lace snakeskin, but he's got the overall genetics I want, and he's got a nice snakeskin pattern, good tail, good dorsal. The reason I don't use the best ones I have is because this is kind of like a crapshoot, and it's almost a waste of a male if it doesn't work out right. So the really nice ones I use to enter in shows, as these would go into the snakeskin variegated class in the IFGA. And same with the yellow deltas. I don't want to waste them because there aren't that many really nice males that come out of each batch. This one's pretty nice, got an intense yellow, but the tail kind of split, so I wasn't going to be sending him off to any shows. But anyway, I'll splice this into the next video, which will be a little confusing because it's going to kind of make it sound like there's going to be more after that, but that'll be the end of it. So anyway, crossing is something that at some point, to keep a nice line of guppies going, you're going to have to do, or just buy them over again from the person you bought them from, which gets a little expensive. So once again, this is yellow delta male to a Russian red lace snakeskin female, and this is the opposite cross of a Russian red lace snakeskin male to a yellow delta female. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope it wasn't too boring. The next part will be some better looking fish. Thanks. This was a cross that I'm working on that is showing some promise. The larger females are the original mothers, actually, and the colorful tailed males, the ones with like a yellow and orange with black spots, are the first generation, the babies. This cross was my Galaxy Nebula Steel Guppies to, of all things, black deltas, which are half black guppies and have a delta tail. So you can see I didn't get anything Galaxy-ish. I got the half black genes must be dominant, and crossing the Galaxy, which has some of a cobra skin pattern, into the black delta. That combination must have given me the AOC, any other color, or as it's called overseas, leopard pattern. So this may be just what I get from the first generation, because I'm really assuming that the Galaxy Nebula Steel genes would have been either equal or actually dominant, and it's obviously not the case. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a geneticist. I just breed guppies, and I never pay attention to the Punnett square thing or any of the crap that I learned in school, of course, because I'm a typical guy that just wants to try things without reading up on what I'm doing. So I'll see what the next generation is going to be, but this is definitely something that's interesting to me. And so far this one, the dorsal is starting to get the same colors, which is good. Like I've said in some other videos, they have black pec fins, but they're just standard size, so it's not, they're not going to be a Dumbo ear, but you will see stuff like this in some local pet stores. That's actually the original father. In local pet stores, and they'll call them Dumbo ear or something or other. Black pec fins don't make Dumbo ear guppies. They have to be like almost double the size of a regular standard pec fin of a regular guppy. But anyway, it's interesting. They'll definitely end up with a delta type tail because the black delta is obviously dominant. And we'll see with the next generation. You can see there's no color whatsoever in the mother of all the fish in here. I think I've had 2 batches from her. Well, there's 2 females. This is the other one. And there's probably going to be another batch out of each because they're filling up pretty good. But anyway, this is promising. It's really nothing that I was after when I made the cross. I wanted to come up with a orange and black galaxy guppy, basically. And I forgot that when you cross a cobra skin, snake skin to a half black fish, that you get AOCs. So that is my mistake for my brain not remembering things I've done in the past. Give you an update on 2 other ones. Try to splice this together. I had mentioned in a prior video that I was going to do an experiment with, I'll be honest, I forget if I bought them at Petco or PetSmart. These 3 larger females. One's well, 2 of them are half black somethings. And this one, I don't know what she is. So this is the first generation of babies out of them. Picked 2 different males. This one is actually kind of gray. I think I used that male in a prior video when I talked about crosses and I think Guppy books. And this one surprisingly looks a heck of a lot like the cross of the Galaxy Nebula Steel to the Black Deltas, but this is from, well, it's actually a 5-gallon bucket that I've been growing them all in. And it's very interesting. I have no way to know what the males were that hit these 3 females, because when I bought them they were already hit, obviously. And I've gotten 2 different types of fish out of them, so I'm going to assume these 2 together right here are son and mother, and these 3, that female right there and this female and that male, are mothers and son. One of them had them. Poor guy. But it's very interesting. If I can get a little closer, you can see there's a bit of a pattern, snakeskin, cobra-ish, at the head close to the eyes. The tail looks, it's hard to tell at this point if it'll be a delta or just a small roundish tail type guppy. But something I'm going to keep working on. I really actually like these, or this. The tail's starting to get a little funky, so it may not be a delta. It may end up just being a small regular tailed guppy, and by delta I mean a triangular shaped, very large long tail. The other cross I made that's showing some promise here is I was medicating a trio of my Japan Blue snakeskins. I lost the female, and where's the other males? Down here. And the males were both very skinny, but I was medicating them to try and keep them around. I was actually doing an experiment on these by using flake food that was treated with I think it was Metronida, whatever. I have to look. I'll look at it and see and put it in the comments. But This was was babies I got out of a cross I made of the Japan blue snakeskins, and sadly, not snakeskins, double tail swords. And sadly, I didn't write it down because the fish were sick, and I wasn't sure they were going to make it. You can see they have a bluish double sword, but the body is no longer Japan blue. And to further complicate my dumbness, I'm not sure what female this one is. I took her out of a small container that came out of a tank that probably crapped out on me, and of course I didn't mark it. She was not hit prior to going in with these two males. I'll see if I can find them, but there is a bunch of little babies in the tank. I don't know if I can get this to focus. There we go. There's a whole bunch of them in there. I have no idea what they're going to end up being because they're a cross of a female. I don't know what she is, and these males that are across from the Japan blue double swords, not snakeskins. And it's going to be kind of like a interesting thing to find out, because I'm really unsure of what they're going to end up being, the babies, because I really don't know what the mother is. So I'm going to have to look at some of the other fish I have and see what females look close to that. I can tell it's not a platinum red mosaic big ear. It's not a black Moscow. It's obviously not a red Delta, and it's not a grass. So I'm gonna have to look around and see what I have, see what I might have used. I mean, I sort of feel like a dope doing an update on a cross of parents I don't even know what they are, but hey, I got babies out of them, so I'll find out. Sometimes good things come out of really stupid moves and mistakes. So anyway, I'm going to cobble a few videos together about these crosses and make a coherent video out of it. So anyway, this one was kind of a success because there are babies in there. It's a nice reflection of the tanks behind me. Trying to get the baby, it's not coming up. So see if I can move the light over them. There you go, that'll get them on there. As camera, the iPhone is focusing on something else there. I think I got them there. Yeah, I'm using a, I guess it's called a rig that I bought to try to have a smoother looking videos, but my hand's still shaking. So anyway, that's what's going on with these. It's another interesting thing for I'll make for a mumbly part of the video, since I really don't know what this female is, and I'll figure it out and give an update. Alright, thanks. Yeah, I'll continue with the some of the current crosses that I'm doing. This one started out as a cross of a black Moscow male, actually one of the ones I'd culled, and yellow Delta female. I had two of them in there, and I kept the cross going, and I went back and added yellow Delta male, which actually kicked the bucket, and I thought the whole cross was going to be finished with, because I was pretty sure I just had about 10 females in the container. But then when I looked really close today at this one, obviously this is not a black Moscow and not anything like a yellow Delta, and this female is probably very similar to that male. So this snakeskin pattern just started to develop this past week. It's a real nice lacy snakeskin pattern, and the tail color is kind of purplish, so the whole thing has thrown me for a loop as to what I ended up with, because nothing in here is a the expected end result of crossing yellow deltas to black Moscows. I mean, these females look like black Moscow females, but this is completely unexpected. And obviously I'm going to continue this cross, so I'm going to leave him in with these 3 females, the one light color one and the 2 dark ones, and see what happens. He should develop a longer tail based on the fact that the black Moscows have very long tails and like a thumb type dorsal. The yellow deltas also have a long tail, but not quite as big of a dorsal. But really interesting looking fish. I mean, this is really beautiful. It's a extremely nice snakeskin pattern, and like I said, so far we're looking like it's got a purple tail and dorsal. So definitely an interesting outcome from the cross. And once again, like I said before in some other videos when I started rambling, that sometimes when you start making crosses expecting to get something in particular, you get thrown for a loop and get something totally different. And another cross that I've been working on is obviously the black lace snakeskins. This was a separate tank. I had them in a 5.5 for about the last 4 or 5 months. And I got this one male probably about 5 or 6 months ago that had no snakeskin pattern, and he had no full coloration in the tail. It was like a primarily clear tail with a strange like a crescent moon shape of black color. I know I had filmed a video probably about 6 months ago with the old camera where I wasn't doing audio with it, and I just filmed the male and the fish it was in with. So since it popped out of the black lace snakeskin line, I had initially put that male in, which has passed away, in with a couple of the same females that came from the black lace snakeskin line. And out of that batch I got, as you can see, a red lace snakeskin, a couple of black lace snakeskins, although one of them is very, very light. This one is, unless the color develops soon, it's really like a gray lace snakeskin. And then there's this male that I don't even know what to call that. It's kind of like a light purplish delta. Well, it's not a delta yet, but it's a light purple plain looking guppy. Very, very weird. So I'm going to leave this group in a bigger tank. I just have them in the show type tank so I can get them all on the camera. And I'm going to let each of the different type males hit the females and see what continues. And if I don't get anything else interesting in the next batch, then I'll take this one very different looking male and put him in with two females, probably in a 2.5 gallon tank, to expedite the next generation out of them. But really strange. I mean, I can see getting a red lace snakeskin out of them because that's part of how this started. But this fish is like nothing whatsoever of anything I would expect. There's no snakeskin pattern. There's not even full color in the tail. And the actual color of the fish, if it comes across right with the iPhone's camera, is like a grayish purple. It's really weird. It's sometimes you get some totally different things than you expect when you do some crosses, which is why I keep doing a lot of crosses. I have a few others in the works, and no babies out of them yet, so it's not really worth talking about. But I will say, in an attempt to come up with yellow lace snakeskins, I have a red lace snakeskin female in with a yellow delta male. We'll see what that ends up giving me, because God knows what I'll end up with. And another one I'm going to work on is a red lace snakeskin going to a blue grass or a red grass, and see what happens with that. So anyway, there's some of the cross things that I'm working on, and some of the ones that are in progress but haven't produced anything yet. But very nice looking fish. Very strange outcome on both of these. And this one just completely throws me for a loop. There's nothing that I would figure in either side, the black Moscow or the yellow Delta, that would throw something like this. So anyway, that'll do it for this video. And appreciate you watching. Thank you.